Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on. That song is basically the epitome of this entire video. Even though, yes, I have my own channel and I put out my own content, there are those helping hands along the way that have not only helped me develop my channel, but have also given little gifts along the way. And the best way I can sit there and say thank you to those people is what I'm doing right now. So, please buckle in. If you've heard about any of these people, good. If you haven't, you need to check them out because they're just awesome people. And to make sure your boy don't forget anything, I brought receipts. It's your boy Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil. And before I even started a channel, matter of fact, probably before I even thought about starting a channel, I was, just like a lot of people, tuned into some of these channels that were teaching gardening. And of course, you know, lockdown happened. And because I needed more outlets, I needed more things to do, these people were the first ones that sort of kind of motivated me to get gardening and learn the stuff, not entirely the hard way. As a gardener, you would know that sometimes that's the only way you can do things, is learning the hard way. But I wanted to get these guys off the top because a lot of you already know about them, so I don't necessarily need to spend too much time on them, but I wanted to get them out of the way anyway. So, going down to my receipts. First one I want to sit there and say thank you to. And this person is just awesome to me because they're a fellow airman, and it legitimately was one of the very first channels that I ever saw on YouTube, and that channel is GardenerScott. And GardenerScott has become what I say all the time on his live streams that you need to tune into on Mondays. His channel is like the Barry White to my gardening season. And it really is, because he's very even-keeled, soft-spoken, and he's a master gardener. That really is an awesome thing too. So, like I said, if you need anything about, you know, any of the plants, or if you got a problem going on, if you catch the lives on Mondays, you can get in there, ask him a question, and he will do his best to help you. And if he can't help, the people in the chat can. Next one. As everybody knows, we all have different zones, and depending on the season will dictate what the temps are and what you can grow. So one of the first channels that I found that was based in Indiana is Nate at GardenLikeaviking. As a matter of fact, he was kind enough to stop by about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit 1 or 2 years ago, to look at my poultry little offerings of plantings and this, that, and the other compared to what he does. And he also has a live on Saturdays. Again, just like GardenerScott, you can hop on there and ask questions, or sit and grab some popcorn and some drinks. You might even learn about a little thing that we like to call underculture. Yeah, it's a special thing. Only on GardenLikeaviking. So, Nate, thanks, bruh. The next one, and even though this guy isn't even in the States, he has become a very good friend. And if you knew nothing about potatoes, this gentleman could set you up with all the info you need. As a matter of fact, even has a blog about it. And that could be the one and only Tony O'Neill, Simplify Gardening. And like, not only does he do a bunch of this dude is a working machine. He has books. By the way, GardenerScott also has books. Tony O'Neill is just a one-man wrecking crew with all the stuff he does. He doesn't do lives. He will join on lives every now and then, but his videos that he puts out, perfect. And it's not just about potatoes. He covers all kinds of different things. You'll learn the same stuff, it's just different ways of going about it. The next one I want to sit there and say that helped me a lot, MIgardener. Luke at MIgardener, while he's slightly a colder zone, because I'm in Indiana, he's in Michigan, a lot of the times that I was buying seeds, if I didn't get them at like a big box store at first, I would order them off of MIgardener. I was even watching MIgardener before he actually had a seed store. Even then, the way that the style that he was showing videos being done in his backyard and stuff was a lot like what I was doing in my own backyard. So watching his videos and picking out different subjects, that all helped me out, and thank you, Luke. You're awesome. One more large channel that I didn't put down here because I've got it somewhere else, and I will come back to him in a little bit, and maybe then you'll understand why. It's Brian, and his channel was NextLevelGardening. That guy, who is in California, which is a completely different zone from me, but during the warm season, none of that really matters. The way that he did his tomatoes, for instance, I had never seen trellising done before, and seeing him do it for the first time as a new gardener, that sparked a lot of the inspiration that I do in my own garden. Thank you, Brian, because like I said, Next Level Gardening is a starter for me, along with the others that I've already mentioned. But like I said, we're coming back to you, so you're not done just yet, Brian. Okay, now we've done large channels. Now here is where most of this focus of this video is coming in, and I will try to make it as quick as I can, but there are quite a few people here that I need to sit there and say thank you to for various reasons, and a lot of these do have channels. Well, actually all of them do, except for my honorable mentions, which will come in after all of these. So first one, Ray Garden. Ray, you are a absolutely unselfish and giving person, and despite the fact that, you know, I met you through Doug, who is another person we'll come back to later, yeah, I've had questions, or you've had questions, and then back to back conversations about stuff, and then assisting me when I was, you know, searching for something. Sir, my hat's off to you. Thank you very much. And if you don't know who Ray Garden is, please go visit the channel, because all of these links will be in the description. He deserves your patronage and you to view his videos. He's just a good guy. The next one we're going to talk about, let's go with the Urban Gardener, Enoch. Enoch has a show every weekend. It's on Saturdays and Sundays, but he also does his own long form videos. He's getting back into doing some more that, you know, like he used to, but the main influences and help that he's given to me has been through the live shows. And not only has, you know, he have guests on that are like GardenerScott or Gardening with Jenna, but he also has smaller people on there. He even opens it up to the community, so the people who show up to his live streams on Saturdays or Sundays, sometimes he opens up the floor and says, hey, anybody that has a video camera and wants to come on and chat and whatnot for a little while, go ahead. He does that. And that, I think, helped me become more open to the idea of trying to do lives, even though I haven't started doing that. But it just whet my appetite a little bit about it, and that's an immense help for somebody like me who doesn't really like being on camera, if you can't tell. Enoch, you're awesome, dog, and thank you for everything that you've done. Alright, GtJrGrowsItAlaska. Bruh, the second I saw a brother was actually living in Alaska by choice, how could I not sit there and subscribe to this brother? Yeah, so he's living in Alaska, dealing with their growing climate. He does a lot of stuff like the winter indoor gardening every year. He's got one going right now. And all you got to do is plant seeds and grow stuff and record your journey. And it's just like a little mini competition, but it at least inspires you to say, hey, it might be cold and I can't grow anything outside, so why not just grow something on the inside? So thank you, GT. I appreciate you, brother. I respect you for being up there, the land of ice, and keep inspiring people. The next one I want to sit there and say something to is RobinGardens. RobinGardens is a Chicagoland area gardener, and I have never in my life met somebody that was so nice and warm-hearted, and this woman knows her stuff, and the amount of things that she does with the community is inspiring. So like I said, there's so many things on our channel that you can sit there and watch and benefit from, like I have, and I will continue to be viewing her videos because, like I said, she just has the biggest, warmest heart of anybody I've watched. GutenGardening. GutenGardening is a guy who is up in Wisconsin. And the thing about him that stuck out for me and that I've learned is container gardening. I believe it's a toss-up between GardenerScott and GutenGardening of where I first saw a green stalk. And just the vibe of container gardening became like a real big thing for me after seeing that. And of course, they're not cheap pieces of kit. I'm not even going to lie about that, even though they do have specials all the time. It sort of kind of helped spur my container gardening deal. So, GutenGardening, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and like I said, you've helped in more ways than you could even imagine. Alright, lastly, but certainly not in the least, it's a brand new-ish YouTuber, and in the short amount of time that I've known her, not only have I sort of got you know, really good friends, this lady has stepped out of herself to offer assistance to me, and that means more than anything in the world. And the person I am talking about is Cindy, and her channel is TheGrowingGardener. And yes, the name of her channel is exactly what she is a growing gardener who is learning things, she's creating videos, and she has this infectious energy whenever you look at her videos. And I'm like, how in the world do you have that much energy and upbeat all the time? That would exhaust me. And she even was making videos when she was sick, y'all. I don't do that. If I'm not me, and I'm not doing it, and being sick is not me. But yes, she apologized for it. Cindy, you don't gotta apologize for nothing. Alright? If you're putting out content and you're sick, you know what? More props to you. And congratulations on your new house. And I can't wait to see the content that you make, especially on how you're designing your garden space in there. Congratulations to you and your husband. But like I said, thank you. Thank you, thank you. You know exactly what for. I'm not going to put your stuff on blast, and I appreciate it. And please, if you have not heard of her channel, please go support this lady. Alright, now before I move on to this final list of category, I wanted to say something to somebody who doesn't have a channel. Matter of fact, they're not even a moderator. No, this person is a facilitator. And she is always there. If you need just random bits of information, or she goes out of her way to prop up channels during live streams, and you don't know how instrumental and nice this lady is. She's Canadian, so they tend to be nice, I think. I think that's what the stereotype is, but we're going to go with it. And just the stuff that she even does outside of YouTube, like her own personal stuff, she's about community. And that's none and other than the Jaybot herself, Jay Dixon. Jay, I don't even know what to say. I've pretty much praised you and thanked you and said all kinds of nice, glorious things about you over, I don't even know how long we've really known each other, but they're all true. And you're doing this because of your want to help people grow, whether it be their channels, which she facilitates both Enix / the Urban Gardener. She goes ahead and facilitates for GardenerScott. She also will facilitate for other channels like Shawnee Grows, and there's a few others. But this woman does all this work not because she's being paid or anything like that, but because it's just in her heart to do. So Jay, the Jaybot, thank you from me and everybody else who's benefited from you and your little fingers over there. Alright, now we're going to get to the nitty gritty. And the reason why I separated this segment of people out from the rest of the list, because there are a couple on here that have pretty big channels, especially when you compare it to my poultry under 500. They're the definition of community for me here on YouTube. And the reason why is because there's a few of us that knew of each other before this group of individuals came together. But it's been during the fact of us all working on this same thing that they've really become pretty impactful to not only me and my growing, but me as a person. And I just wanted to go ahead and give these people the credit they deserve. And the individuals I'm talking about are all part of the Coast to Coast monthly videos that our buddy Chad at DownHomeBackyardGardening started. And what that is everybody is spread out all over the country. We even have a brand new member that's up in Canada, and it's all about what we're all doing throughout the year. And sometimes it's different. Sometimes we're all able to do the same thing, like in the warm season, but it at least gives people in a general area of North America maybe somebody that's kind of on the same page no matter where you're at. If you haven't subscribed to either of the or any of these people, you really should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our newest members, because they might have been new, but they definitely had something to offer that we needed as part of the group, the family of YouTube gardening creators that is the Coast to Coast group. So the first one, Amy. Amy is our brand new member, and she's in Canada. And her channel, The Hobby Homestead, is, even though it's far north, I will admit, when I say I've had winters, there's no way in hell that I've had a winter like hers. But the things that they do up there that she does during that cold stuff has helped me prepare for here. I've binge watched her because I didn't necessarily know about her until just recently. Matter of fact, until she was brought on to the Coast to Coast crew. And I'm straight up, I binge watched probably the last year or so of her videos, and thank you. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for the little lessons you've got in your videos. And welcome aboard on this Coast to Coast crew. Check her out. The next one. If I had to say that somebody was like the beating heart and soul of Coast to Coast, I would have to say it's this person. Her name is Anquisha. And Anquisha 357 Gardening, she's just so delightful. In the same vein as I was talking about Cindy earlier, Anquisha is the same thing, but in a different way. And she's in Arizona, so she's desert growing. So right now she's growing a bunch of crap that I wish I could grow, but I can't. Well, I might be able to because this winter's been kind of freaky. It's 60 some degrees out and it's going to be Christmas here soon. But I digress. Anquisha's growing a lot of stuff out there, and I guess this would be her garden, her growing season. The temperatures are lower. She doesn't have to worry about watering as much. But the whole point is, if you're in the southwest of the United States, she has plenty of content to offer you. And like I said, she's one of the newest members of the Coast to Coast crew. So Anquisha, welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here, and your spot was desperately needed to be filled, and you've done it. The next person is really not a person, and we're done with the whole seniority, who's been here the longest, blah blah blah. This person or people is actually two, and it's Project Help Desk / the Creator Classroom. Why do I say / Creator Classroom? Because they're not just a gardening channel. They're a do-it-all kind of thing. And the wife, Jennifer, she runs the Creator Classroom, which is basically devoted to Canva. So if you're learning how to do videos and stuff and you're used to Canva or you have a Canva membership, she is the one to go to if you want to learn anything about Canva, which I have limited knowledge on how to do stuff, and she has appropriately taken the task of schooling me and a lot of us in Coast to Coast crew. And she also basically made it out to be that I'm the problem child in the classroom. She's probably right about that, because I'm stubborn. Not being just a straight dedicated gardening channel does not miss the point of they're growing. They are growing, and together they're both the comedic relief. If anything you want to bet on month to month is you're going to laugh, and it's going to happen during the Project Help Desk section, guaranteed, every single month. So if that's your speed, which it's mine, I dig that. I love that. And the fact that Jennifer has her own thing too, also offering benefits. So thank you, Project Help Desk. Thank you, Creator Classroom. The next one I want to say, OSKG is in Louisiana, I want to say. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're in Louisiana. They grow outside in an area I wish I had. And I'm way up north, they're way down south, obviously. So there's a lot of things like they could be growing down right now that I wish I could. The thing that I love, though, is that about the time that they're sitting there crying uncle in their summer, I'm still up here growing. And they also do recipes. They actually show cooking with the things that they're growing in their garden, and I wish people would tune in more to that kind of content, because it really does deserve a watch, because it's teaching you how to utilize the things that you're growing in your garden, because not everybody knows how to grow everything. The next individual that's part of our Coast to Coast crew that I want to sit there and say thank you for is Rick. Welcome to my Cape Cod life. So obviously he's in Cape Cod, and the things that he brings to it. It's kind of like my style, where he doesn't do it just in containers or whatever. He does have a little bit of ground that he actually does garden in. What he also offers that I cannot offer is the scenery. Half the time of his videos is just about the area he lives in, or say he goes out and he gets mussels or something from the ocean, and it's just picturesque. And like I said, he's not is he a no frills type creator? Yeah, you're not going to get a whole bunch of flashy this, that, and the other, but what you do get is a honest and open home gardener's perspective of his area and how he does it. And this guy, another one of those, you know, if there was a beating heart of the coast to coast, he would also be there right along with Angleisha. So welcome to my Cape Cod life. If you haven't checked them out already, you need to go ahead and check them out, because like I said, the views are impressive. Next, D from RootElation. Now, she's another one of those southern gardeners, and she's actually in Florida. And this woman, I have never, okay, there's companion planting, and then there's D's version of companion planting. And this woman has everything from green stocks to greenhouses to using the natural landscape around her home or whatever. And she knows all of these different plants names. Who in the world can sit there and walk you through their garden, knows each and every single one of the plants? I couldn't do it, and I'm the only one that grows stuff here. Plus, with her being in Florida, she's again one of those ones who, during the severe summer heat, she actually takes the time off. Just like I have to take time off a little bit from growing outside here during the winter. During the winter right now, this is when she's rolling, because the summers there are just so bloody hot that she just can't do anything. And you know what? I understand completely. So hats off to everything you're doing out there, because like I said, it's impressive to me. And if you want to see what type of things that I'm talking about, you need to check out RootElation, because like I said, she's doing it out there in Florida. Staying in the Florida area, and I didn't know where I wanted to bring this gentleman in at, because if I had to keep going about a lot of it, warm-hearted would be in the description of their character. So, but the person I'm talking about is David at BowtieLife. Brother, do you understand how much wisdom is in the words that you speak when you speak in them? Yes, I said it like that. The words that you speak when you're speaking them. Because no matter how bad of a day I think I'm having, there's always a positive or a bright side to whatever content you're putting out. And you give it in the beginning, you give it in the middle, and the end. You slam home with the whole, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours. Who comes up with crap like that? Because there's no fighting it, there's no denying it, there's no sitting there saying you're wrong about it, because it's 100% accurate. And even though you love to mess with me in my head and get me all up in my feels and all the other stuff like an older brother does to a younger brother, I still enjoy it. Why? Because I get you. And you and I both know what I mean by I get you. And you get me, and that's why we can never have a live stream together on a weekly basis, because there's no telling what in the world we'll actually end up talking about, and it may never end. So, Dave, if any of you are in Florida or in a warm weather environment, or you just are having a bad day and need some reason to look at it and say, hey, you know what, maybe my situation is not as bad as I think it is, BowtieLife is your dude for that uplifting spirit. Alright, this next person that we're heading to is in the Pacific, Pacific Northwest, and that would be Angela at HippieChickHomestead. She's in Oregon. And the thing I like about Angela is, if you ever want to know what the best points about you are, ask Angela. If you are somebody who thinks that they have, you know, that, oh, I can't garden, how do I start? Check out Angela's channel. She is one of the kindest and pure-hearted people I know. And you want to know, she even went out of her way to send seed. I mean, usually if you're going to do like a seed swap or something like that, you talk to the person, you guys, swap seeds. It's not a big deal. In addition to a Christmas card, this woman sent seeds. She sent seeds. That says to me that I want you to keep going, and I'm going to provide you something that may not only be pretty to look at, but beneficial to you as well. So, Angela, I appreciate it. I see you, and thank you so much. Alright, so now we're finally getting back to Brian. Like I said, he had his channel that was Next Level Gardening. Now he does most of his, at least most of his stuff that I've been watching mostly is on his other channel, which is the gardensatskyridge. And not only did Brian come into the whole coast to coast group in the very beginning, he was on board from jump. He recently took time out of his busy schedule with everything he's got going on there, both garden wise, YouTube wise, family wise, everything else like that. He sat down and had an open conversation about how he did what he did with our little group. I mean, the amount of wisdom and information that he had to learn, some of it the hard way, is just unbelievably unselfish, that I don't even know what to call it. It's a gift. And Brian, I appreciate that, just like I know everybody else appreciated that, because you have an outlook of, from the steps that you took from starting your channels to where they are now, that I'm now in just the infancy of. Or if you're talking about like Chad, who's got like 30,000 subscribers now, but that still pales in comparison to the things you've seen, done, and how you've gotten to be where you are now. So taking that time to be willing to share that information with us, in a private setting, that was so incredibly awesome, and I'm very thankful. Alright, so now we're going to get to somebody who's not necessarily a frenemy. I actually really like this dude, and he's helped me out in various ways, whether it be to add more amendments for my compost or competition, I'll put it, that he rightfully knows he cheated on, but we both agree that I was gracious enough just to let him get that win. And the person I'm talking about is none other than Doug the CrocGardener. Yeah, Croc, like isn't a crock up when it came to garlic last year. But don't worry, we got him. At least we're working on it. But yeah, Doug, he is in Illinois, and we're only like, what, 2.5 hours away from each other, so we're in the same zone basically. But he has a garden that I wish I had. And that is, it's open, it's got space. I mean, yeah, it's next to a farm or a field that gets worked by, because it's a farm. But yeah, I wish I had that open space that he did. I like the way it's designed. I like how he goes about cold weather prevention and growing when it gets cold out. I like his setup with his basement grow room for the winter into spring, so he has those plants to put right out into his garden. And the thing that impresses me the most is his stewardship to the soil. This man has so much comfort growing all over that garden area, and he doesn't do tilling. He is very, very well versed in how to use that comfort in the ground and let it benefit the crops that come later on. So that's probably one of the bigger things I've learned from him. And also, just a little bit of a cheat, he's a kid, man. Who the heck is not going to like a channel? He has a kid there, right? The kid's doing stuff with his dad. That's almost like cheating. Very peculiar that the same thing comes up multiple different times, both in your channel and the videos with Kid Croc and the cheating that you did in the garlic. But again, I'm not bringing it up. I'm just making sure that the folks watching this video have a very clear and precise way of viewing your win. But it's okay, I let it go. See, we're good. Nah, I love you, Croc. So yeah, if you don't know about CrocGardener, please go ahead and check out his channel. He's an awesome dude, and like I said, I really do feel like he's a friend, like a true friend. And I can't wait to come see you, or you come here. There's not really a see here, so maybe I should just come there. So we'll get that done sometime. Last, but certainly not least, the facilitator of this thing we call the Coast to Coast crew. And not only is he the facilitator of that, he sort of kind of facilitated me coming in, because just like, you know, everything else, this channel started because of a dare. I used to watch Chad, DownHomeBackyardGardening's channel, as just a viewer, just like everybody else. And because I found out that he was a Marine, I decided that I was going to challenge him to a grow-off.
It's another challenge, but this one's a little different. We're going to do a garlic challenge. Yes, garlic. Now let me explain. A longtime viewer of this channel has reached out to me in the past. We've communicated over a few different things, and earlier this week he sent me this message right here. And I was like, okay, we could do a garlic challenge. That'll be fun, but why don't we open it up to everybody? So, because of him challenging me, we are starting a challenge for garlic. And I think this is a fun one, because garlic is not like a tomato plant where you have to constantly monitor it, look for pests, amend, look for pests, all that. Garlic is pretty much plant and forget, to a point.
You know, just your standard branch versus branch grow off. He's willing to do that, but the sticking point was he wanted me to start my channel, because I'd already been talking to him about doing it, and I was dragging my feet because me and the camera aren't friends. We're getting more friendly. There's something in you when somebody challenges you to do something. And the thing he basically said, he's like, hey, listen, why don't you go ahead and make up 3 or 4 videos, right? Not that you're going to air them or you know, upload them or nothing like that. Just make 3 or 4 videos and then edit those, and then, you know, you'll get your feet wet and then go from there. So that's what I did.
Big Will Dog 82 is the name of his channel. I'm putting it up right here. He's a brand new YouTuber, y'all. He's a fellow veteran like I am. He was in the Air Force. So a little bit about his channel. It's a brand new channel, and this is something he's been wanting to do for a while, and I thought this challenge would be a great way for him, and he thought it too, to jumpstart his channel, to get it going. Everyone go check out his channel. Again, he's brand new. This would be your opportunity to start watching a channel from the ground floor up. And I think that's awesome. I'm all for helping people, assisting people in this YouTube world, this YouTube journey. And if I could be a help for anyone out there, please reach out to me. I'll do what I can to help you.
And the day, I think it was maybe a few days after I actually uploaded my first video, we started the very first challenge. So for me, it's kind of I've just passed over a year. So that means it's been over a year since the first challenge, and we're already off into the second challenge, which anybody who is growing garlic, has garlic in the ground, is able to participate in hashtag garlic 2026. So please make me have to work in finding and listing all you people that decided to take part in it this year. It's in the spirit of fun. And Chad, I don't know anybody else who had this same thing. It was like, hey, let's make a monthly thing, and we're going to try to make it as broad and as open for everybody as we can by offering them content, not just from this zone or that zone or from this coast to that coast, but I want it everywhere. And you know what, brother? I am happy to be part of the crew that you brought together. I am glad that it's become what it is, and I am very, very glad that we have the list of characters in this motley crew of ours that pretty much is exactly what you wanted. And it's given me more than I'm putting into it, and I'm positive it's given back more to those people involved as well than they put into it. So from me to you, Chad, for the crew, for your motivation, for your encouragement, I want to say thank you. If it wasn't for that little spark of an idea, this crew wouldn't be together, and you are for sure the glue that puts everything together. So if you did not already know about Down Home Backyard Gardening or Chad, who is a brother in arms, he picked the wrong branch, but that's okay. We won't hold that against him. Please check him out. He's got so many videos, and he's been doing this for years, just like Dave and Brian and Hippie Chick and Project Help Desk. I mean, all these people have been very inspirational, and I'm hoping that by me sharing with you that they'll be an inspiration to you too. Now, before I end this whole thing, I want to say a very happy and appreciative thank you to all the subscribers on my channel. I never thought that I'd hit 100 people that cared about what I was doing. And then I hit that, and then we went to 200, and I'm like, why? I haven't figured out this whole, YouTube algorithm thing. I haven't figured out, the thumbnail thing. I'm learning, and hopefully you've been able to see the changes in the growth that I've made since my very first video. And some of those videos should have came off better, but didn't. So you will see me doing those over again. But the point is, you guys make me want to offer more content and better content, and I want to show you guys that means something to me, and that means that I'm gonna have to work for growth. You also might know, yes, I'm having issues with PC or whatever, and this is probably the worst time to have stuff like that happen when you're trying to run a channel. So I will throw my link for my GoFundMe in there, but by no means is this a ploy. This is just, if you can help, if you want to help, I would appreciate it. And if you can't, please just continue watching the videos. That's help enough. So for me to you, I want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, New Year's, whatever it is you celebrated already or still to celebrate. Have a happy one. So for the end of 2025, This is the last sign off for this year. I'm your boy, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil. And I'm out of here, guys. See you later, 2025.